Christine, big night tomorrow night, obviously. How are your emotions, I suppose, heading in?
Yeah, look, I've been saying it all week. I'm in a really reflective mood at the moment. Just looking back on the last 5.5 years, this club has become an extension of me and such an important part of my life and my life journey. And so to leave it and to think not just leaving the club, but I'm leaving the island as well. And so there's a lot that I'm taking in at the moment, and certainly reflective and a little bit sad.
Anything special planned or anything like that to commemorate the final game?
Oh, I think the club do what the club do best, and they'll send me off appropriately, I'm sure. And I just want to be around all the people and all the wonderful people that I've met since I've been on the island. I've loved the island, and the island have really accepted me in return, and it's been great for me. And I've said this a lot. I get a lot of people saying to me, "You've been great, and what you've achieved has been awesome." But equally, the island has been amazing for me personally. I've enjoyed a lot of personal growth here and professional growth, and I'll always be grateful for that.
Here from the very start, Christine, how have you seen the franchise change over time?
Yeah, it's a great question, and obviously we've got bigger, and as you get bigger it's hard to keep everything as personal as you did at the start. But one thing that's never changed is our values and our mission to defend the island, and I think that they are the important things that I hope this club keeps forever. You know, we defend the island, we care about the people we represent, and we do it with authenticity and humility, and I think that that's the great thing. But of course we've got bigger, there's more things happening in Tasmania now. We've got the Devils, the BBL have won a championship. I feel like we've been part of a bit of a tsunami of sports success, and I'm really loving that.
No doubt you'll be watching from afar in the future.
I'll be a jack jumper for life. You'll never be able to take this club. I'll leave Tasmania, but you'll never take the club out of my heart, and I mean that quite deeply.
What's when someone says to you in 5 years, what's the one thing you remember about the time? The championship's easy to say, I guess, but is there something else that sits in your mind?
Look, there are a lot of things, and I can't measure it by one simple success. It's definitely the game day, the feeling, the people, and how much they've embraced us. But I'd have to say it's this man to my left. We've been the odd couple, but we've been a great couple, and we believe in the same things, and we've really developed that together. And he respects what I do, and I respect what he does. And for a woman taking a lead role in a male sport, you have to work so much harder for respect. But he has given me that the whole time I've been in the role of CEO, and I think together we've thrived as people and as a club.
How has the emotion changed since you sort of first decided that you were going to depart to now where it's sort of really imminent and you're about to leave?
100%. This week I'm feeling incredibly emotional. When I made the announcement to go, I still knew I had 3 months to go, and anyone that knows me, it's business as usual, just working on the same things day in, day out. So it's only been this week, as I start to do my official handover, that I've really reflected on what I'm actually leaving behind. And they say you can't have regrets and you don't look in the rear vision mirror, but certainly over the past few days, that's certainly been something that I have to stay focused on what I'm doing in the future.
Is the timing a little bit bittersweet? I mean, you've got the high performance centre across the road, you've got the jewels coming in. Does a part of you want to stay and see that kind of coming to fruition?
I think that's actually a really great question, because then when is the time to leave? You get the team on the court, and then what do? You wait for the next championship. And so my key objectives were given to me very clearly. It was to come in, to get a high performance centre, to get a WNBL team, to sell the club, and to do all of those things that I think I've achieved. And it's now time to bring it over to new leadership, fresh eyes, fresh ideas, and I just hope the next person cares about the club as much as I do.
What about the hurdles and challenges? Obviously there's so many high points, but what about some of the tough times?
Oh, there have been incredibly tough times, and I've learnt on the job, and I've made lots of mistakes along the way, and none of us are perfect. But what I've been able to do is I've got a great ability to self-reflect, and one of the great things of working under Larry Kesselman has been that he gives you feedback, and he does it in a sense that he wants you to get better, and I've learned a lot from that, and I am so ever so grateful to him for giving me the opportunity, helping me grow as a person and helping me grow professionally.
Larry, one one semi-serious one. Did you see the Wilkinson Point story on the front page of the paper? And if so, how do you sort of feel about that whole situation as you looked at the part?
Well, obviously the Wilkinson's Point and the Jack Jumpers are two very, very separate issues. If I talk about Larry personally, I know how much he's put into this state, how much love and care he has for the state, and how much he wants to help the state thrive into the future. And Wilkinson's Point has been a big part of that, and it's part of a project that's really close to his heart. So I'll leave the politics to the politics, but I do hope that they sort that out, because I know the passion that sits behind that project. And he may not be a Tasmanian and he may not live here, but he's very passionate about seeing this place thrive, and Wilkinson's Point will help us do that.
Just on your role, do you play a part in recruiting the next CEO, or does the club take some time, obviously get through finals and then look at that?
The club have been running a very, very thorough process on CEO. I have been in consultation with the club in recent days about where they were landing. They have exceptionally good candidates. They actually couldn't go wrong with their decision. They had such good candidates, and to me that is a true reflection of the club, is that really good sports administrators and administrators in general want to be part of this club and want to actually take over and do the next job. So I'm sure that announcement will come very, very soon, but I can absolutely and categorically tell you the club is going into very good hands.
So you've already lost someone, you're just waiting for an announcement?
Well, they've got it down to a final few, of which I'm aware of, and I say they can't make a bad decision. So whoever they decide on, I hope that person comes here and enjoys it as much as I did.
Tassie now in front of the queue for a Super Netball team, now that you're heading up that bar?
I think I'm just going to concentrate on the Jack Jumpers this week, Chris, and we can have a chat a little bit down the track on that. I haven't really got my feet under the desk there at all yet, but I do know expansion is part of their plans well into the future, and I'm sure if the bid from Tasmania was good, it would be well considered.
What was that moment like out in the middle with the guys then?
Yeah, it was pretty special. Scott's an incredibly thoughtful person, and I'm sure he thought about something he could do that would make me feel, I guess, welcome at my last ever training session. And so a little bit embarrassed by it all. I'm not one that spends a lot of time around the players. I let them do what they do really well. I let Scott do his job and Darren do his job, but I've certainly felt loved and accepted by the players for the whole 5 years I've been here, and that was a really nice way of them to recognise that.
Scott, end of an era, I suppose, with Christine departing. How would you describe your relationship with her over the past 5 or 6 years?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously well documented the first year and a half or so. We butted heads in a lot of areas. When you have two passionate people wanting the same thing but trying to accomplish it in different ways. And so, it was rough going a little bit in the beginning with Finny and myself. I think COVID added into the stress of everything that was going on at that point also. But since then, it's been, peanut butter and jelly. She's a great resource for us. She's been a wonderful asset to the club. She's done amazing things here in the state. And, it's bittersweet to see her leave. One of the things that when the last 2 or 3 years was my biggest thing was to try to support her career and hold her up as much as possible and give her the best advice I could. And she's in a man's world dominated at that level of CEOs, and for her to go through what she's gone through the last 3 years, and for hopefully me to be someone that she could lean on. It's been an emotional few days with her, and tomorrow will be.
It must have been nice, I suppose, in the last few years having Chris Benny and the basketball side of operations on the same page in terms of team ethos and family island and all of those things that Jack Jumpers are known for.
Yeah, I mean, we were on the same page in the beginning when we got here with Simon was there. It was just, how things were going to get laid out. You're starting a franchise from a blank canvas, and so everyone has ideas about what they think is right and wrong. And so from my side of stuff with basketball, it was quite easy and smooth, and obviously trying to help the front office in those areas. So there wasn't any, it was not any synergy that was not being lost in there. It was just more about thoughtfully going through things, and my experience of doing this for 4 years and her experience of what she had and her background, and trying to see how that would mix.
Both of you from the start, how has her leadership provided that stability in terms of you building a program exactly the way that you wanted it for players here?
Well, I mean, the dynamics was a little bit different because I came under Simon Brookhouse for that first year and a half. So my relationship got very close once Finny took over, and we had worked things out of what the direction was going to look like in her role and how I could support her. And from there, it just became a great friendship. She's obviously extremely close to my family and my wife and my daughter. and vice versa with her family. And so that dynamic just continued to grow and grow until the point where we had great synergy and just a lot of positivity going. And the support, again, has been enormous for us in the basketball area. She takes care of the front office, but you need someone, the CEO, that's willing to stick their neck out at times in the basketball area to support us too. So again, being in an environment of a man's world, she's a force of nature, and she's the best NBL CEO in the league without question.
Never a good time to leave, as she said, but to leave when the high performance centre's half built, jewels are coming in, it's not a bad time to go and leave a bit of a legacy as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she's created obviously the jewels format for what that's going to look like moving forward. This high performance center she's obviously been in part of, and so she's leaving us in a really good spot. And again, it's more about her propelling her career, and I can't wait to see what her journey looks like. I'll be there with her.
What about the process for a new CEO? Have you been consulted about that at all?
I have not. No.
Just on tomorrow night's game, how do you attack that? Obviously, you don't want to get any more injuries. You've already got a spot in the play-ins.
Well, we're going to attack it to do everything we can to win this game. We only have 10 guys, 6 players and 4 developmental players. So we don't have a lot of wiggle room to just play some guys because they deserve minutes on the floor and kind of just get through the game. And we have to play the 10 guys. And, we got in a lot of foul trouble in Southeast. We had, I think, 4 guys with 4 fouls, and it puts you on the back foot with that. And so we're going to win the game and do everything we can to get the ball, to get the win for us in our last home game. We've created some momentum at home, but we have to go play. We don't have any other solution other than to do that. We don't have the luxury of just playing some guys to get some time.
So you wouldn't hold back on, say, intensity with the game when you've already got a spot in the play-ins?
Well, at the athletic level, at a professional level, they only have one speed, and we've trained them here to be at one speed, and we'll play as hard as we possibly can. And I think if you start to kind of halfway go through things, that's when actually you get hurt and things start to happen that shouldn't happen. So we'll play these 10 guys the best we can and play as hard as we can, and it'll be a great experience for the 4 young guys again, and we'll see how it goes.
You mentioned in your post-game press conference that you'd like to see Sean McDonald back. Is he locked in for Melbourne, or is that a wait and see?
I'd like to have him back for next year. He's 2 more months away from actually even playing 5-on-5, so he's in his end of his 6th month, and his recovery is 9 to 12 months. So he's moving into his 7th month, and still quite a ways away.
Bryce Hamilton and Ben Air too.
No one will return for us. They're all out.
Some good news today. Some of the boys were picked in the finals for some of the awards. Nick Marshall, most improved, which we thought might happen, and Drew was 6th man of the year, I think, Mag's defensive player of the year. So pleased that your players are being recognised on the. Yeah,
I mean they've done the hard work, and Marshall's a story in himself. I think he also got in there for defensive player of the year too. So he's a story, and a guy that again got kind of casted aside and has come here and found a home, and it's exciting to have our guys involved in that, and it's a great credit to the coaching staff really at the end of the day of all the hard work they do. I get a lot of the accolades because I stand up in front of everyone, but it's actually the coaches and behind the scene and our high performance staff that's doing all the hard work.
Slightly sort of left field, I suppose, with a departing CEO, but given it's the Jack Jumpers, it's a big family. Your relationship with Christine and your departing.
Yeah, I guess emotional for everyone, and probably more so for her, leaving sort of something she's built. But I guess I've been here since day one and been along the journey with her, and she's been so supportive of me through injury and family troubles, and taking a few, supporting me through contract extensions and really helped me out through those things. So definitely going to be tough to see her go, and it will definitely be emotional, I think, for everyone at the game, and we do want to get this one across the line for her especially.
How important is it, I suppose? Does it filter down to the playing group as much, the front office stuff and the relationship between the CEO and the playing staff and players?
Yeah, well, I guess, a club's as good as its leader, and the leader starts at the CEO, it starts at the top. So if they don't want to be personable and come down to training and say hello and understand your family and, what relationship you're going to have, and, who's your role model in the club. So she's been fantastic for us while she's been in charge, and it's just been a great, footing for the next CEO to come in and learn from, and how can I she knows my mum, my dad, my sister. She knows what's going on in their lives. So she's very personable, and will always go out of her way to say hello. So she's definitely set a good blueprint for the next CEO to come in and take over.
How are you feeling at the moment? I suppose obviously you won't be out there tomorrow night or for the rest of the season. Is it frustration?
Yeah, I mean it sucks. Injuries are never nice. But I guess the timing of this one was just a little bit gut-wrenching, and just the momentum we had and whatnot. But the support I have around these boys and this club has always been second to none, and still a joy to come in and talk some smack. And I guess I can hold people a bit more accountable now that I'm watching what's going on and sort of do as I say, not as I do type of thing. So it's it sucks and it's hard, but I'm sort of trending in the right direction with it, and hopefully be up and running pretty soon.
If the season kept going, when would you be back? Like, is it a long-term thing, or is it something you'll be keeping on? Or?
Yeah, I guess it's sort of. I guess bones are interesting because you have to just let them heal, and then it's how everything else is, and then you don't want to put yourself at a higher risk. So maybe Game 5 of a grand final, if we can make it to that, I might be a late call-up, but it's looking pretty unlikely that I'll be back. And then if that's the case, there's no point rushing sort of what I'm doing, and I don't want to do something stupid and come back and re-injure myself, and then it's another 6 weeks. So definitely just sort of have the brakes on and trying to do it right, and just taking all the advice I can from doctors and whatnot.
You're out of contract. Is it your intention, is it your desire to be back here playing basketball next season?
Yeah, I mean, I love being here, and I love Tasmania, and those conversations have started. Myself personally, I sort of let my agent do that. I just sort of tell him how I'm feeling, and he kind of fills me in with the conversations they're having. So I haven't heard from him for a few weeks, so it's they're doing their own thing and figuring it out. But I love it here. I love this club, and this is my home, and somewhere I want to be.
With the injury and the injury history, how much of an extra layer does that put into the negotiations when you are out of contract and what your future looks like?
Yeah, probably have to ask Scott or Christine that one. Like I said, I just leave it to my agent. I pay him a good chunk to do that stuff, and I don't want to be coming in and having argued with Scott about a contract the day before. It's not the type of workplace I want to be in. So I try and keep those two things separate and come to work and be professional.
How have you as a captain wrapped your arms around some of the other guys who have been ruled out for the rest of the season? Ben and Bryce?
Yeah, I guess I'm sort of proof that it's never over, and you can come back stronger if you really lock in and put your mind to it. Obviously, they're sort of going through it for their first time, and it has been tough for probably more so Bryce, just with the severity of that injury, and what we know about is basically 12 months. So just do the best I can, try and bring them food if they need it. Not me cooking, obviously. My girlfriend might cook for Bryce, and just drop some food over and look after him, make sure they know they're supported, and just try and keep them, I guess, out of that woe is me type of thing. Invest in them. How can we get better today? Talk some smack on the sideline and keep it happy.
The silver lining is, of course, people stepping up in your absence and in others' absence. We've spoken about a lot, and even Josh and nice to see that silver linings from the sidelines.
Yeah, it is nice. That we're all good mates, and you just want to see your friends succeed. So the extra opportunity they've been given, and sort of a credit to the work they put into themselves and into their skill and their buy-in to the club and our values and how they go about it. So, I mean, there was never any question of their character and talent, but just to see it sort of show up for them is really cool and special, and they'll just keep growing and keep stepping up. And it's good to see sort of young fellas get an opportunity too in big games, and there's only one place to learn, and it's on the court. So definitely cool to see all that stuff come together.
Congrats on the Defensive Player of the Year nomination, mate. Is it something you guys talk about, keep an eye on? It's just something that comes along and happens if it happens?
Yeah, it's sort of something that comes along. It's nice, and I just try and, I guess, when I'm out there, defend the best I can to help the team win games. Winning an award sort of whatever. I think I've come second 5 times now, so probably add number 6 to the to the trophy cabinet. But yeah, it just nothing I really speak about, or that I think the team understands the value I have when I'm on the floor, and so does everyone else around the league.
You guys are pretty used to playing finals. I think you've played 4 out of the last 5 years. How do you guys attack the next couple of weeks? Obviously, it's not pretty easy.
Yeah, well, I guess it starts tomorrow with Illawarra, and we have to come out and put our best foot forward, and it's essentially a playoff game for us. They're going to want to come out and finish strong, and obviously, they have people playing for contracts and playing for their lives, and we can't just come out there and take that as another game. So it starts there, and then I guess a little bit of a break, some time off, a bit of a balance between keeping your fitness and staying healthy. So you don't want to go too hard one way. So it'll be a bit of a balance that thankfully is out of my hands, and that's a coach's decision. But we're still going to get after it.
There's obviously still that hunger there to get to the end, right?
For sure. I mean, it's a one-off game, and we get to go I think it's looking like we're going to Melbourne, which is a place we're historically been good at, and a team that's been sort of up and down all year. So we can come out there and put our right foot forward. I think then we get to go to Perth or stay in Melbourne again to have another crack at someone. So it's exciting, and this is what you play professional sports for, is for these opportunities, and we've got nothing to lose and go out there swinging, and I'm sure everyone will be proud of us.